Why, hello there. I had made in a previous video that I was gonna do more tutorials on the like my workflows and what I do and whatnot. The video I'm doing today is stabilization on the stabilization techniques on the A7IV and the A7S III. This is by using the active mode because regular stabilization kind of sucks. That's gonna be for today's video. Eventually in a future one, I'm gonna do one where how I expose for like bright sunlight like this, how I color grade it. So a couple notes before we get started. Most people will tell you, and this is true, that if you add more weight to your camera, it's gonna be easier. There's no bee, there it is, it just went over there. All right, sorry, there was a bee flying over my wife. So most people will tell you if you add weight on this that it will make the footage easier, or not easier, but it will make the footage look more organic. And that is true. I typically don't do that though, because I am a pretty hybrid shooter. I go from handheld to gimbal a lot, and I can't have too much stuff on here where I have to hurry up and take it off. So the most that I do these days is like a top handle that I just screw on and off with this RE locating pin. And this, I'll be honest with you, this just makes me look fancy. It helps sometimes when there's a lot of sun and I'm using a diffuser, but the same thing with this, it's just a little knob that I turn right here, pop it off, and boom, we're good to go. And then I can just slide this on because this is a half cage, so it just kind of slides into the DJI Ronin RS2. So with that being said, this is pretty much it. This is not adding that much weight, so for all intents and purposes, I'm pretty much just using the camera. So I'm gonna show you some examples. These are my go-tos that I've just come to find that they just work. Most of it is gonna be foreground stuff. Other ones is gonna be movement. So I'm gonna show you hip-wise how you move. And then that's it. Now, these are just stuff that works for me. It's not, and you know, it could be something that you could improve yourself. It could be something that doesn't work for you. And that's okay. It's just sharing what we know and then see if it works for you or not. So with that being said, acompáñame a esta compañía. So this example here we'll use is fixed. So what I typically do is I use something in the foreground and I tell myself I am only moving from here to here, and that's it. So I'm not going to take a step. Rather, I'm already going to have the foot on the right side like this. And the only thing I'm moving, if you look up here, is just the hips. So if I start this way, and really quick, you're gonna look probably silly, but that's fine. You just have to accept that. You're gonna look probably silly, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get the shot. So you're gonna move like this, bend your knee over here and extend this leg. And over here, I'm looking at it like this, and then I just move my hips, but keep the camera in the same place like that. Now the clip I'm recording on this camera is real time. I'm not gonna slow it down just so you can see what that looks like. And I'm going sideways here, and I have the flag too low. Okay, I'm gonna come back around one more time. And then I'm gonna go back the other way. But I'm not moving my feet at all. It's all in the hips here, and I'm keeping my arm. If you look up at my arms, the elbows and everything I have right here. Now don't get me wrong. A lot of what's happening here is from the camera. It's got active stabilization on. So it's not like I'm the steadiest person or I'm doing anything. But even with stabilization on active, you could still mess that up. So let's say I do this on the opposite way. Let's say I don't use any of those techniques I just did. If I was just, that still looks pretty good. It just goes to show you that the stabilization is really good. So I guess the point of that was that's the kind of movements you need to do. If you're doing, let's say if I'm even shooting this up here. Let me put up the ND higher, or it's about, I'm gonna close down the aperture. So let's say I'm shooting that up there, I would still only move like this. If you look down at my legs and my hips, I'm still only moving like this. Now likewise, that's side to side. Now that one's the one you gotta really be careful with, because side to side, that's the one where if you go too fast, you know, the sensor could hit the edge, and then the stabilization system is gonna snap it to the middle. The opposite one that I do, we'll say right here, is forward. So I'm gonna use this tree again. By the way, I'm using a zoom lens because I'm gonna show different examples at different focal lengths. What I just did was that, this is a Tamron 28-75, what I just did was on 28. So let's say I'm doing the tree here, and the same concept, I already have my foot forward. I'm not going to take a step and go forward. I already have this forward, so I'm kind of going like this, and then I'm just moving forward like that. and keeping my elbows in and then rolling back. I generally like to use the LCD screen instead of using a monitor. I don't know why. I can still expose correctly with the monitor and it just seems easier. Okay, and then one more time back. Okay, great. And some of this still doesn't look too smooth, and that's fine, that's okay. And that's what stabilization in post is for. In DaVinci, they have, I don't know if they call it anything in particular, but what is it? Premiere, they have like warp stabilizer. So you still need to add a little bit of that anyway to it, but that's pretty much 90% of the work. Okay, so now we got that. Now you're gonna see how this technique still kind of works, but you're gonna start seeing where this doesn't work. So stabilization, once you get to 50 millimeters and beyond, it's tough. Don't blame yourself if it still looks crappy. It's tough for everybody once you get to 50 and up. So I have this example right now at 50, and we're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna see that the difference here is really drastic. You go forward, and then back, and then forward, and then back. And the same example sideways. Again, I'm gonna throw it into manual focus just to get a look at that. All right, so then sideways. When I do side to side, I like doing it at a tighter focal length so the foreground will look a lot bigger. And sideways. So that's how that looks like. So again, sideways and then forward. Okay, now here is a, oh, that was at 50. 75 is the worst. I really try never to move at 75. I feel like 75, you're really pushing it as far as movement. Now I'll go ahead and show you, this is not gonna look that great though. So this is at 75 going sideways. Well, this might be subjective. Some people still might say it's usable, which is fair. Like, to me, sometimes some footage, from what I'm accustomed to, I usually think I can't use this, until other people are like, oh, this is still good. All right, and then forward. It's gonna be harder to tell. When you have a tight focal length, it's easier to see movement going side to side. Going forward, it's really hard. It's really tough to tell like anything's moving. Okay, so that's how that looks. Again, keeping your legs already, like all you're doing is moving your hips. So that's that like stabilization I talked about, like that. The other one that I would do, and I'm gonna have my wife record me as I'm walking. I'm gonna walk this way. With this one, I still try and get the elbows in and everything, but on the feet, I try to like step heel to toe. So this is how it looks like. We're gonna do 2 laps, one seeing my upper body and the other one seeing my legs. So this one, let's say if I'm walking forward, I'm gonna show you how it looks in my camera too. I'm just going like this. Okay, then I'm gonna go back this time if you can get my legs. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, actually, if you can just get my legs.
Yeah, I know, but back.
Okay, here we go, and 1, 2, 3. So I was at about 35 right there. That's probably the most that I would go if I'm going to walk. Don't even try it at 50. You will have Shake City. So this is ideally though, I would go to the widest one. The widest one is gonna look the best. The 20 mil 1.8 that I have right now, it almost looks like I'm floating when I do it with that one. When I do the ninja walk with that one, it's so damn good. I'll show you an example of following somebody. So for this example, we are actually going to switch cameras so I can show you what the difference is with 20. Okay, go ahead. All right, so we're following her. This is a tracking shot. You see this? Like butter. Is this guy on an airplane? I don't know. Okay, I told her to walk straight, but she's not walking straight. Okay, anyway, and again, this might not be too smooth, but damn, that's like damn near close. Look at this. Sha Wing. If there's anything I did not answer, if there's anything that I did not answer, just let me know in the comments, anything you want to know. The other videos again that I have is how to expose when in bright sunlight like this using the LCD. If you want to see those videos, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out, and otherwise, see you guys later. Bye bye.